Pledge allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Things, we have our minutes from last meeting.
Motion to approve as submitted?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Community relations announcements.
The early voting for the 2024 presidential election at the Town Hall Selectmen's Meeting Room, meeting room number 1. You guys can see the town website for all the dates and the times. The last day to register to vote is Saturday, that's October 26th, 9 to 5 p.m., Town Hall or online. Dudley Charlton Town Takeover at the Railers, that's Saturday, November 23rd, 6:05 p.m. Dudley Elementary Chorus performing America the Beautiful, and see the Town of Charlton Facebook page for more information. All boards, departments, commissions, committees meeting, that's Tuesday, November 19th, and that's at 6 p.m. Town Hall in a senior center. Please RSVP to Mary Devlin. Her email address and contact information on the website. Trick or treat Thursday, October 31st from 5 to 7:30 p.m. And tax classification hearing will be held during the Selectmen's November 12th, 2024 meeting. The senior center will have limited hours Tuesday, that's October 22nd through Thursday, October 24th, and that's due to full-time staff attending a conference. They will be closing at 2 p.m. on those days. There will be a talk on Tuesday, October 29th at 10:30 a.m. by Framingham State University history professor John Hobrix. That's on why the Electoral College was created. Mass DEP is pleased to announce that the Charlton Board of Health has been awarded a grant of 10 Purple Air Flex sensors under the Massachusetts Air Sensor Grant Program. That's that.
Thank you. Do we have anybody here for open forum?
Yeah. I would like to speak, if I could. If you want, I can go down there, or I can talk from here.
You talk.
So, we're closing in on a year from the time that our government study committee came in front of us and said, and recommended that the board consider the town, consider the town clerk being an appointed position rather than an elected position. We're closing in on a year. So my concern with that is if you're serving on that board and you're meeting monthly, and then the Board of Selectmen take a year to say like, well, it's really not important to us, so we don't even want to talk about it, that's a concern. Why would we not want to talk about it? We're closing in on a year. We're coming up on the next one. And when you try to get people to join in for town boards and other things, they want to make sure that their voices are heard. And I just feel we've ignored that entire topic. And I've asked 4 times for it to be put on an agenda, and I don't understand why.
Mr. Chairman? I'm sorry, if you can.
I was just gonna say, it's gonna be discussed. We had a change in town council, and that was the reason that it was been delayed. So, I mean, as you were, but go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. No, Subject Kronos, I would just say, I don't think this board is not it's not in a position of, we don't care. I think it's really just a matter of timing. As, Chairman Lance said, mentioned, we had the change. I didn't think when we discussed it last year it would be appropriate to bring it forth during fall town meeting. I think for the May town meeting it made a lot more sense, just to have a much larger turnout. And I would just recommend that, based upon all the work that Karen and others are doing right now, that we take this up after the federal and state elections come November, and start it then, and be prepared to potentially have a recommendation, depending upon how a majority of the board feels, for the May town meeting.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Right after the election, but it's sooner than later.
And as far as we're not running out the clock, so if we,
There's no clock to run out. we can.
So if we approve
So-
it,
Let me stop. Open forum is supposed to be a statement, not a back and forth discussion. So, I mean, we're done. I mean, you made your point. Unless you have any other things, we're not gonna discuss it
well, I've
now.
only brought it up 4 times, but
Well,
just,
Well, now you brought it up in a public forum, so we all heard it and.
yep.
we're gonna-
And nobody's denying that it's gonna be heard. It's gonna be heard when the time is right. All right, anybody else for open forum? Nothing being heard. Moving on to appointments and resignations.
Right, our first appointment is for the DCRSD Student Select Person. Attaches a letter from Shepherd Hill High School Principal Darren Elwell recommending the appointment of 12th grade student Rosalie Knowlton to serve as the DCRSD non-voting student representative for the 2024-2025 school year. I'd recommend the board make the appointment. Her first meeting to attend will be October 29th, or the next regular meeting as scheduled by the board.
So moved and welcome Ms. Knowlton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Through you, do we know if we're getting one from BayPath?
We haven't received anything from BayPath as of yet, but they've been asked to provide one. All right, and finally, we also have a resignation of a full-time dispatcher. Please find a letter of resignation as a full-time dispatcher effective November 30th, 2024, from Paul Morelli Jr. Paul has been a great asset to our community, and I'd like to thank him for his service to the town. The board will need to accept his resignation, and a letter thanking him for his service is in your sign folder.
So moved with deepest regret.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
With regret.
No scheduled appointments. Moving on to new business.
All right, so we have request for special legislation for the fire substation. As we've been working to transfer the property from the school district to the town of Charlton for the purpose of the fire substation, it was identified by council for the school district that the conveyance of real property from school districts requires a legislative act. According to council, the legislature typically requires some documentation that the legislation is supported by all member towns of the applicable district as evidence of a vote of the applicable select board. I'm requesting that the board affirm their support for petitioning for this legislative act.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Do we have any idea where Dudley stands on this, or?
I'll be bringing that to Dudley at their next regularly scheduled meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Moving on to old business.
All right. After the board's last meeting, it was brought to our attention that the pricing for the new engine proposed under Article 5 had increased significantly since the original request for capital appropriation was made. After discussing options with the fire chief, we collectively decided to postpone the borrowing for the engine until the May town meeting. You're being asked to change your recommendation on this article to pass over, and a few other articles of note. Under Article 2, a request had been made from the building commissioner in the beginning of the process to transfer $15,000 from the building inspection fees enforcement requests for receipts request for appropriation to the special town council line item in order to offset the legal costs for some recent enforcement. Unfortunately, we missed this previously and added it, so looking for your support on that article. And also under Article 2, the new growth was certified just after your last meeting, $250,000 higher than originally projected. So we're looking to add that funding to the capital stabilization.
Mr. Chairman, through you. Oh, I'm sorry, David.
I was gonna say, go ahead, you go.
Do we, to Andrew, do we have to technically reopen the warrant to make the adjustment for Article 2?
Well, that was my question.
Show off. I mean,
So-
procedurally, I just don't know. I just don't want to cause any problems.
It's not listed on the warrant itself,
Yeah.
and the warrant's already posted. This is the recommendation you would be making at the meeting of the booklet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Article 2.
Article 3. Article 3.
I thought it was Article 2.
Article 3, the
Article 2.
Both of
250,000?
Oh, it says here Article 3. So, I mean, it says Article 2 on mine. Sorry, never mind.
Which one are you looking
Other articles to note?
at? Correct. Yeah, you're making about Article 3, right? Yeah. You're right. They both say Article 2.
See?
Sorry, Article
Is
3.
it,
Article 3.
Okay,
So either,
is it a typo, or should it be Article 3?
let's see.
And 250,000.
and you guys don't think I read the
Yeah,
packet?
I know.
Capital stabilization.
Sorry.
Yes, Mayor.
The
I'm
vote
sorry.
Article 2, 750,000
Yep.
for the capital stabilization
Yep.
was
They-
500,000.
yep.
So So you guys are only approving like the motion part.
Yeah.
Oh, just the motion part?
It's
Cool.
just changed the motion.
David, you good? Mr. Chairman, to make your life easier, I would make a motion to agree to all the changes for the motions,
Second.
For Article 2.
and 5.
Just for clarification, so Article 4 says we're replacing 3 cruisers, which is fine. But there was something in the paper about we're gonna lease another one or 2?
So
It was
that,
in- So we're not leasing them, we're just buying 3, we're not gonna lease another one? That was in the Charlton Villager, and someone actually asked me about that. Why are
So-
we leasing?
so the chief is currently looking at his capital plan for what is best to replace the cruisers, and he's currently evaluating would it be more prudent to lease 3 cruisers for the price of purchasing 1 and extending that. It's essentially the funding mechanism over a period of time. It'd be the same funding amount. It would just be whether or not to purchase 1 cruiser now or lease 3 over a period of 3 years.
So regardless of that decision, this vote would cover all that.
Yes, yeah, you're approving the authorized spending amount.
For motion 4,
Yes.
for Article 4. that
Yes,
we-
yes,
okay.
yeah.
Quick question now. So, at the end of 3 years, what happens?
The end of 3 years, the vehicle still stays with the town. It's a municipal lease program, it's more or less a borrowing mechanism
So renewing the
versus,
lease for another 3?
you could, you don't actually pay anymore, it's more or less a financing of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
at the end of the lease, technically, it's rent to own?
you buy it for $1.
So it's rent to own?
Yeah,
Okay. It's like a couch.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't do that.
Yeah,
But isn't that more expensive than just buying them outright?
it's
Or-
really just the financing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a FinCom question.
Right.
Yep, because we had it separated out earlier, and when I saw the article in the paper, someone asked me about it.
So, Mr. Chairman, my motion still stands with approving the changes to the motions for Articles 5 and 2 respectively
As
as,
written?
as presented here.
All right, so we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Do we have any further discussion? No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, town administrator report.
I have nothing new to report this week.
Ridiculous.
Sorry,
Comes back from vacation, that's what happens.
that's what I got.
Sounds good. Do we have any other business that was unknown at the time of posting?
I just want to remind people that there are T-shirts for sale to support the local 403, $20 or $30 for the long sleeve. And Mary has them at the office.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, next meeting announcement, special town meeting. We have a pre-meeting October 21st at 6:30 PM, Charlton Middle School, followed by the special town meeting at 7 PM at the middle school. Next regularly scheduled selectmen's meeting is October 29th at 6:30 at the senior center.
That's a joint meeting, right?
Nope,
Nope.
that's your regular meeting.
No, that's in
Yeah.
November. Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
The
I would
all
ju-
boards meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would just throw it out there that if we don't have any significant items to discuss, that we just handle any business in November. Yeah, but again, I'll defer to you and Andrew in the group.
Do you make a motion?
Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Good job, everybody.